Chosen one, what you quietly did this morning carries far greater value than what your eyes can presently see. I, Michael, want you to pause in stillness and not dismiss that action merely because it took place in an ordinary moment, without witnesses, applause, or words of praise. Some choices pass briefly through a day and are quickly forgotten, while others leave a deep mark upon a person's journey because they are born from sincerity, humility, and the ability to do what is right even when no one knows. This morning, you stood before such a moment. Perhaps you restrained words that would have wounded someone, gave away something you also needed, continued fulfilling your responsibilities despite feeling weary within, or chose forgiveness instead of holding on to bitterness. You believed it was only a small act, but I saw the meaning hidden within it. The most precious things within you are not always revealed before a crowd. Many beautiful parts of your character were formed during hours when no one was watching, when you had to choose between obeying an immediate emotion and preserving what was pure within your heart. There were days when you wanted to give up, yet still completed what needed to be done. There were times when you were treated unfairly, yet refused to allow injustice to turn you into a cold person. There were moments when you carried private sorrow and still remained gentle towards someone who needed your support. Those choices quietly built the person you are today. The world often notices only brilliant outcomes, but the higher realm sees every small step that carried you through darkness. I saw you overcome yourself in a matter no one else knew about, and that victory is more valuable than passing praise. You may be trying to remember what special thing you did this morning, but do not strain yourself searching for an unusual act. The weight of what you did does not necessarily lie in its size, but in the motive that guided you. A very small gesture performed with love may carry more value than a celebrated achievement driven by pride. A timely word of encouragement may keep someone from despair. A quiet decision may end a cycle of pain that has existed within a family for many years. A refusal to participate in wrongdoing may protect your future from lasting consequences. This morning, you placed a stone securely into the foundation of a new season, even though you did not yet understand what you were building. I want you to know that your faithfulness has not been forgotten, and that what is done in silence still carries a powerful voice. Therefore, do not allow the absence of human recognition to make you question your worth. Those around you may not realize how much effort it required for you to maintain a peaceful attitude. They do not know how you swallowed your tears before leaving the room, nor how many negative thoughts you had to resist in order to continue choosing hope. They only see you carrying on with your work as usual and assume that everything comes easily to you. But I know how much courage each step required. I know how often you reminded yourself not to become like the very thing that once hurt you. It is in those moments that your true beauty is revealed. You do not have to recount every sacrifice in order to prove that you are worthy. What is pure does not become less valuable merely because it is not displayed before others. The action you took is also opening an inner transformation. Perhaps in the past, you waited for others to treat you well before you were willing to offer kindness. You wanted to see results before continuing to trust, and wanted guarantees before taking another step. But this morning, you chose what was right, without demanding that life reward you immediately. That is a sign of maturity. When you no longer act only according to what you receive, but begin acting according to the values you have determined to preserve, circumstances can no longer control you so easily. You become steadier, freer, and more capable of carrying peace into places of confusion. Great transformation often begins in this way. Not through a dramatic event, but through a quiet moment, when you decide who you are going to become. I also want you to understand that the good you sowed today is not a transaction through which you may demand an immediate reward. Do not assume that because you performed one good deed, every trial must instantly disappear or every door must open at once. Purity loses its beauty when it is used only as a tool for personal gain. Continue doing what is right, because you know it is right. Continue loving, because your heart does not want to become hardened. Continue being faithful, because you honor the promises you have made. The results will come at the proper time, sometimes in the form you expect, and sometimes in a deeper way. Perhaps the first reward is the peace you feel from knowing you did not betray your conscience. Perhaps the transformation begins because you no longer have to carry shame over your own choices. From that small action, a new road is gradually taking shape. Others may begin trusting you more because they see consistency in the way you live. An opportunity may come, not because you chased it, but because you have been prepared to carry the responsibility that accompanies it. A relationship may be healed by the way you change your tone, learn to listen, and stop using your wounds as weapons. These things are not the result of luck, but the fruit of maturity cultivated through quiet decisions. You once believed that your life could change only when something great appeared from outside you. Today, I want you to recognize that renewal often begins within and then gradually spreads into the circumstances around you. Remain humble when good results begin to appear. Do not turn this reminder into a reason to believe that you are superior to others or more favored than anyone else. What I see in you is not perfection, but a willingness to learn, change, and rise after moments of weakness. There are still parts of you that need shaping, wounds that need care, and habits that need to change. Yet the fact that you dared to take another step in integrity brought me joy. Let this recognition make you more grateful rather than more prideful, more willing to serve rather than more demanding, and more gentle toward others. Because you too once needed patience in order to grow. You do not need to leave the name of your city, country, or any personal information to prove that you received these words. What matters is not a comment beneath a screen, but the way you will live after these words have ended. Let the sign of your acceptance be revealed through the next good action you take, through the way you treat those in your household, through the fulfillment of what you promised, and through the courage to release what you know is pulling you downward. A message becomes truly valuable only when it becomes a seed planted in daily life. If you listen and then forget, the emotion may quickly fade. But if you carry this awareness into every choice, a new chapter will be written through your own footsteps. I, Michael, want you to continue through this day with deep peace. You were not forgotten during your hidden seasons, and your faithfulness was never meaningless. What you did this morning may not change the entire world immediately, but it changed a part of who you are, and from that transformation, many other things will gradually come into order. Continue preserving what is pure when no one is watching. Continue choosing kindness when bitterness appears easier. Continue moving forward, even when the results are not yet visible. A beautiful future is not built only through great opportunities, but through hundreds of small choices made with an upright heart. Today is a milestone, not because thunder sounded from the heavens, but because you became a more mature version of yourself. I am beside you in every step ahead, protecting the light within you and leading you toward the season, when what was planted in silence will blossom peacefully, worthily, and beautifully. The atmosphere around your life is changing. Because a tall man is gradually drawing near, carrying a truth or information that may bring clarity to something you have quietly prayed about for a long time. My beloved, I want you to receive this calmly rather than fearfully, with awareness rather than hasty speculation. Some people enter your life, not to become the center of your story, but to deliver a missing piece, open a door that has remained closed, or help you see something you previously lacked enough information to understand. This man may carry an explanation, a confirmation, an opportunity, or a truth connected to what you have experienced, but do not allow his appearance or the sense of mystery surrounding him to make you trust too quickly. Listen, observe, and allow time to test what he brings. I know that your private prayers were not merely simple wishes. They were born from nights when you did not know whom to confide in, from days when you smiled while feeling exhausted inside, and from moments when you wondered why you had to carry so much without explanation. Many times, you asked for clarity, to know what was true, what should be preserved, and what needed to be released. Perhaps you believed those prayers disappeared into silence, but no sincere burden of your heart has been meaningless. Yet an answer does not always arrive in the form you expected. Sometimes it comes through an unexpected conversation, a person appearing at the right time, or an event that causes you to reconsider the entire story from another perspective. Matters that once seemed disconnected may begin joining together, and you will gradually understand why you had to walk through certain parts of your journey. The connection between you and this man may create a significant change of direction. But I want you to understand that no person has the right to possess your future. His tall stature may represent position, influence, or access to information within this situation. But that does not make him the one who determines your worth or destiny. He may hold a role that even he does not fully understand. He may be a messenger, someone who connects you with an opportunity, someone who confirms what was denied, or someone who reveals a portion of truth that had remained hidden. Even so, his role is only one link within a larger chain. You must still use wisdom, consider evidence, and refuse to allow temporary emotions to carry you too far. Permitting someone to enter your life does not mean giving them access to every part of it. What he brings is not meant to crush you, but may help you realize that you were never meant to carry everything alone. There are responsibilities you took upon yourself because you believed that if you did not handle them, no one would. There are secrets you kept for too long because you feared the truth would hurt others. There are accusations, misunderstandings, and disappointments you endured quietly, even though they did not entirely belong to you. This man may say something that surprises you, but surprise does not necessarily mean disaster. Sometimes, a difficult truth is the very thing that frees you from years of self-blame. Sometimes a simple confirmation is enough to help you understand that your perception was not entirely wrong, or that what happened was not caused by a lack of worth within you. Allow the truth to be spoken fully before you react, and do not build an entire future upon the first few words you hear. Whatever he says, Remember that the protection of the Most High does not depend upon a stranger, a promise, or secret information. The shield around you is strengthened when you live honestly, maintain clear boundaries, and refuse to surrender authority over your life merely because someone appears at the right time. If what is revealed concerns your work, finances, family, or reputation, verify it through practical steps. Read documents carefully, preserve information, seek advice from qualified people, and do not sign anything while your heart is confused. Faith does not require you to abandon caution. On the contrary, discernment is part of protection. Truth will not fear examination, and a person with good intentions will not pressure you to decide in panic. Heaven has seen you pass through storms that not everyone knows about. There were times when you wiped your own tears and stepped outside as though nothing had happened. There were days when you had to be strong, not because you wanted to be, but because you felt you had no other choice. You learned to rise in silence and do what needed to be done, even when your heart was almost empty. That strength does not mean you never become tired. It simply shows that you did not allow adversity to finish writing your story. Therefore, the next season does not come to deny what you endured, but to place it within a new meaning. The man drawing near may be only the instrument through which part of the story is opened. But you are the one who must decide whether to continue with bitterness or with maturity. The season of hidden matters may be approaching its end. Words spoken behind your back, missing information, or events that once confused, you may gradually be brought into the light. Yet do not turn this waiting into a hunt for someone to blame. Truth is not always revealed so that you may retaliate. Often it comes so that you can stop doubting yourself, correct your direction, and close a chapter that no longer belongs in your life. When something becomes clear, ask what the truth is teaching you. Is it inviting you to establish a new boundary? Is it showing you that you need to leave an unfair agreement? Is it helping you recognize that a relationship was built upon dishonesty? Use clarity to become free, not to feed additional anger. The tall man may become a messenger of illumination, but you must observe how he acts rather than listening only to what he says. A sincere messenger does not frighten you in order to control you, demand immediate belief, or use secrets as a means of gaining power. He will respect your questions, accept your need for time, and not become offended when you wish to verify the matter. If he truly brings something beneficial, his presence will gradually create greater clarity rather than making everything darker. Remember that peace does not always mean immediate comfort, but a correct direction will lead you toward greater stability, responsibility, and freedom rather than making you dependent upon the fear of losing that person. Therefore, when this meeting occurs, keep your breathing slow, your eyes clear, and your heart unhurried. Listen fully before answering. Ask the questions that need to be asked, acknowledge what is supported by evidence, and allow what remains uncertain to be examined further. You do not need to appear hard in order to prove your strength, nor should you become overly yielding merely because you believe the meeting carries special meaning. Stand within your dignity. You have the right to say that you need time. You have the right to refuse what is unsuitable. You also have the right to receive a good truth without destroying it through old fear. I am beside you to remind you that the clarity approaching is not meant to take away your peace, but to restore your ability to see the road with eyes no longer covered, my beloved. What is about to be revealed may open a new chapter, But that chapter will not be built through one meeting alone. It will be built through the decisions you make after the truth appears. Choose wisdom instead of haste, gratitude instead of pride, healthy boundaries instead of dependence, and peace instead of retaliation. This man may carry a message, but you must transform that message into a correct step. When you receive everything with awareness, what was hidden will no longer possess the power to frighten you. It will become a light upon the path, helping you understand the past, protect the present, and enter the future with a steadiness that no one can easily take from you. You may think that this morning you simply opened your eyes, left your bed, and began an ordinary day. But I want you to know that your decision to rise, after everything you have quietly endured, was an extraordinary victory. Other people see only that you awakened, prepared yourself, and entered familiar routines, while I see the weight you had to overcome in order to perform those seemingly small actions. I saw the nights when you lay still while your mind could not rest, the questions without answers, and the tears you quietly wiped away before anyone noticed. I know how exhausted you became from pretending to be normal, and how often you carried worries alone, because you did not want to place them upon someone else's shoulders. Some battles leave no visible marks, yet make every step feel heavy. Still, you opened your eyes, took a deep breath, and decided to continue. That choice declared that the difficult days had not defeated you. You did not rise because every burden disappeared, nor because today you suddenly felt stronger than everything around you. You rose because a quiet source of strength within you still refuses to surrender, even when you do not know what to call it. Before your feet touched the floor, a decision had already formed. You would not allow pain to keep you lying down. Perhaps you believed you were merely doing what had to be done. But every time you choose to continue, you break another cord that sought to bind you to despair. Yesterday may have taken much of your strength. Certain words may still hurt, and disappointment may not yet have fully faded. But you did not allow these things to write the ending of your story. You crossed the boundary between merely existing and deliberately choosing to live. Even though your first steps trembled and your heart did not yet hold every answer. I know that there are mornings when you awaken feeling as though the entire sky is pressing down upon you. You do not want to speak, face your responsibilities, or engage with anything. At times, you had to persuade yourself merely to sit up, wash your face, or complete one very small task. You blamed yourself for not becoming cheerful as quickly as others seemed to. But I never looked upon you with condemnation. I saw someone fighting with every breath, gathering the fragments of remaining strength in order not to give up. What seems small in the eyes of the world may be a great triumph for someone who has carried too much within. Therefore, do not despise your quiet progress. A day in which you can accomplish only one thing is not meaningless. A slow step is still a step. A heavy breath is still evidence that you are present. And the fact that you remain here proves that darkness has not been able to cover the light within you completely. When you leave your place of rest and stand upright, you make a declaration without sound. You are not finished. What happened has not stolen your entire future. Those who hurt you have no right to decide who you will become. Your failures are not evidence that you are incapable. They simply show that you were courageous enough to enter difficult things. Perhaps no one applauded when you survived a long night, and no one knew how hard you fought to remain calm in a room full of people. But resilience does not need a crowd's approval in order to possess value. I saw every moment when you chose gentleness rather than bitterness, silence rather than words that would wound someone, and continued working even while exhausted within. Not one sincere effort of yours has been considered insignificant. However, I also want to remind you that resilience does not mean that you must always force yourself to endure. Rising does not mean pretending that you are not hurting, and continuing does not mean that you are forbidden to rest. I do not require you to prove your strength by exhausting yourself. On some days, victory means completing your responsibilities. On other days, victory may simply mean admitting that you need help. You have the right to say that you are tired, to turn to someone trustworthy, and to set down matters that do not need to be solved today. Maturity is not found in enduring everything alone, but in recognizing when to continue and when to pause for restoration. A wise person does not wait until they are completely broken before allowing themselves to rest. Care for yourself with the same gentleness you so often give to those you love. Do not allow the harsh voice within you to make you believe you are weak, because there were moments when you wanted to give up. Exhaustion is not failure. It is evidence that you have carried something for too long. Tears do not diminish your dignity. Sometimes they are the way accumulated pain finally finds a way out. Asking questions does not mean that you have lost faith. You are simply trying to understand the path while your vision is still unclear. I am not distant from you in those moments. When you feel most fragile, I draw closer with peace, not to accuse you of being insufficiently strong, but to remind you that you do not have to be strong by yourself at every moment. When you lack strength for a long journey, take one step. When you cannot yet see tomorrow, remain faithful to the present hour. I do not demand that you hold your entire future in your hands. I only invite you not to abandon yourself today. Every breath you took this morning was a confirmation that the journey is continuing. There are plans not yet completed, good things not yet revealed, and parts of you still being renewed. What you see now is not the whole story. A difficult chapter may last for some time, but it does not have the right to declare itself the entire book. I am using the very days when you believe you are merely surviving to teach you patience, depth, and compassion. One day, you will realize that you understand another person's pain, not through beautiful theories, but because you also experienced nights when you had to remind yourself to continue. Your gentleness will carry weight because it was formed through hardship. Your words of encouragement will sound genuine because you know what it feels like to need such words and not receive them. When you rise, support also begins finding you in ways you may not immediately recognize. Sometimes it comes through someone unexpectedly asking how you are at the right moment. A small opportunity that reveals a direction, an idea that appears in the midst of confusion, or a gentle peace that helps you complete what is before you. Do not search only for dramatic signs and overlook the support arriving through simple forms. A nourishing meal, a few minutes of rest, an honest conversation, or the strength to complete one more task may also be provisions for you. I often send encouragement through the hands, words, and presence of ordinary people. Therefore, do not close yourself off from everyone merely because you were disappointed in the past. Preserve discernment, but also allow sincere people to come near and help carry part of the weight with you. I am proud of you, not because you have never weakened, but because after every moment of instability, you continued finding your way back. Many times you believed you had nothing left to give, yet still offered kindness to someone else. You felt as though no one understood you, yet continued, listening to the pain of the person beside you. You passed through experiences that could have made someone cold, but within you there remains a desire to live uprightly and love well. That is true courage, refusing to allow what you endured to turn you into the very thing that wounded you. You are not merely surviving. You are protecting the goodness within yourself during a difficult season. That is what gives every morning you awaken and continue a meaning deeper than ordinary eyes can perceive. Therefore, tomorrow morning when you open your eyes, do not immediately regard it as another meaningless repetition. Remember that you have been given another opportunity to continue writing what is unfinished, choose differently, heal a little more, and move toward the light at a pace suitable for you. You do not have to conquer the entire world before the day ends. Begin by placing your feet upon the floor, breathing slowly, and telling yourself that you are still here. Then do the next thing calmly. I will be with you in the steps. No one notices, in the moments when you must gather your courage again. And even in the times when you need to sit down and rest, your story has not ended. The battle has not defined you, and darkness has never held the final word. The fact that you rose today is enough to prove that hope is still alive. You are still moving forward, and I remain beside you along every part of the road.